Hello, everyone. I'm Gorilla Monsoon, along with Bobby the Brain Heaton. No, I'm kidding, but I am Dub Monsoon. But we are 48 hours away, or less than 48 hours away, from WrestleMania 41 in the entertainment capital of the world. And I would just like to say, screw you, Ticketmaster, and all you ticket outlets, because now all of a sudden, when we pay bills and adults, now you want to lower ticket prices. You bastards.
So cold for that. So cold.
Because we have talk. Because the three of
You
us,
dirty sons of bitches.
because the three of us, amongst other fellowmen, we were planning to go to both nights, and then ticket prices came out and said, y'all ain't doing nothing but just watch it on Peacock, or for some of us having to work on WrestleMania weekend. But nonetheless, we are here. But 67% of this panel actually got to experience Monday Night Raw this past Monday. So I am just gonna. Well, first off, let's just say welcome to the RPP. It's been a minute since we've come to you, but do not think we were not going to do a WrestleMania 41 preview show and not come on the air and say something. But without further ado, I will let the bad guy and the asshole talk about their experience inside the big sheet metal that is the Golden One Center, to where they all did yeet, and they actually did get on Netflix. So if you watch when they're on Netflix, if you see a white shirt, an orange shirt, and a blue shirt, they were yeeting in the crowd. But I'm gonna let the bad guy
look for section 109. Make sure you just look for section 109.
I'm gonna let the bad guy and Wade Mizzle talk about their experience this past Monday.
I gotta say this: it is always an amazing experience to be able to go to a live show, whether it's regardless of what it is, whether it's AEW, New Japan, WWE, whatever it may be. But this being the first go home Raw to WrestleMania
on Netflix.
I personally myself, and I think Mizzle the same way, and TG, shout out to TG. This show, I mean, it had a lot of what we were kind of looking for, and then some. Because the experience itself, I mean, I envy the fuck out of Mizzle and TG. The timing of it was just absolutely perfect. So TG came in a little bit late. Me and Mizzle were there from. I mean, we got into the arena about what, like 3:45, something like that.
Something like that.
3:45, closer to 4. And by the time we got in there, the merch line was fucking all the way around the stadium. They had, I think, I want to say they had a 2 to 3 merch booths, and each one of them was all the way around the stadium. And Mizzle said it like while we were there. People probably showed up just to get into the merch line, because by the time we got in, if you were at the end of whatever merch line it was,
you missed a few events.
A few? You probably missed the whole show.
Yeah.
You probably missed and Mizzle pointed out that there were probably people who showed up just for the merch line. And I mean, us, like, we'd be paying like $250 a ticket. We weren't gonna miss the fucking show for a merch line, whatsoever. So the merch line was one thing that we were like, holy shit! There are so many people that are in line for everything. It's scalpers probably. There was probably going to be a few people in there that were just there for the merch, just so they could sell it for double, triple the profit, whatever the fuck.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But when TG came in, It was probably about midway through the show, I would say, right?
Something like
And
that. Yeah.
again, I envy them because as they were coming back to the seats, which, section 109, that's where we were at, section 109, row S.
For anybody that wants to go to future shows, that is a TV spot.
I mean, and we got a whole show to be able to explain like everything that was seen, what we saw on Netflix, coming back to it kind of.
And
But when they
including
come back, first
and
thing I
including
see
Michael
when
Cole's whiteness of eating.
Mizzle and TG come back, and Mizzle's like, Jay's right there. We got to walk out with him. Jay's about to come out right. I'm like, hold on, you have to what? We got to walk out with him. We like when we were walking back and stuff, we were with Jay Uso in the security.
I have visual evidence.
And I asked Bizzle as if I didn't think he was gonna do it for some reason. I had the nerve to ask him, "Oh, did you film it?" And he looked at me like, "Did I film it? The fuck? Yes, I did film it." Showed it to me, and he was literally what, might be 10 feet away from him.
I sent it to you. If you can turn it into a vid for some odd reason, I can't convert it to pop up on here, and I'll send you a couple of pictures if you want to convert to show the fans. But I just sent that to you.
10 feet away from security's obviously in between and stuff like that. But
yeah,
we when we got the tickets, I had talked to Mizzle and I was like, we should get these because these are in the perfect corner to where if Jay comes through the crowd, he's either gonna come through right where we're at or one row over.
You sure did call that, no lie.
And sure enough, I mean, obviously we would have wished that he would have been right where our row was at, which would have been absolutely epic. But nonetheless, one row over, still good. We got to see a whole lot of everything. We got to be on Netflix. So if you go on Netflix, look for the orange, look for the white, look for the blue.
And it's not going nowhere.
Up at
Boise
the top
State colors.
That corner.
Boise State colors.
Right there. Yeeting along with it.
We are Netflix library.
And for a lot of other parts of the event, we were, I think, Mizzle, you said, what, about 4 or 5 times that it panned out when we were, if you look carefully, we were in
if you look carefully, you will definitely see us. We were in the right area, especially when they did a camera angle for when it came from the side of the ring, when they were in the ring and showing that angle. Yeah, we were probably on Netflix about 4 or 5 times.
So, at first, when we looked at the match card as we were walking in, it said there were 2 announced matches and then 3 promos.
Yes.
Which, to me, I looked at Mizzle and went, there's no way we paid $250 for just 2 matches on Raw. There's no way. We got 3 dark matches, or I guess the main event and speed. So we got 2 main events, and we got 1 speed match at the very beginning before Raw even started.
Thank you.
And then we'll get into that. and then when Raw started, we then learned not only were we getting the 2 matches that we had already seen that were announced, we got 2 extra. On top of that with the other 3 promos.
Got to see Penta. Got to see Penta for the first time. And guess what? If he was still in AEW, I promise you, I probably would have never saw him live. But since he came,
Penta versus Finn Balor.
Yeah.
with the run-ins, with everything that kind of went on again leading up
The
to the build-up
badass.
of WrestleMania. Penta's entrance.
Sick.
Oh,
Sick.
oh my God! Just when you watch it live, it's when you see it or on Raw at home, it's a great entrance all in itself. But when you see it live, you get the atmosphere of the crowd. And I
With the
gotta give a shout again
pyros.
to Sacramento. Showed out
Mm-hmm.
for
Mm-hmm.
this role because and I told Mizzle this because I met up with him earlier today. Sacramento understood the assignment.
100%. Yep.
This is the go home show of Raw till WrestleMania. We need to be loud. We need to be crazy. We need to be into the fucking show from beginning to end. Promos, matches, whatever it may be, we need to be as loud as we possibly can, as enthusiastic as we possibly can,
Mm-hmm.
and we need to make this go home show as memorable as we possibly can.
You
Everybody
got
in Sacramento understood the assignment, so
Yep.
again, shout out to all 16,000 people who showed up.
Something like that. Now, if you get Jay Uso to hit you did something. We got him. We said the one more time.
One more
He heard
time,
us.
yep.
He heard us, and he put the glasses back on, even though he was in character. That's why in the video he wasn't yeeting with us or dapping up the face. He was in that. I gotta deliver this fire promo.
And you pointed that out when we were sitting there and we were watching. I mean, from beginning to end, we were eating with it.
Yeah.
But you pointed out to me, going, he's trying to be serious in this moment. He's giving us what we want because obviously we were all chanting one more time. Let's keep going. Let's keep eating. Let's keep.
He broke it. He broke it for the one more time.
But you can still tell that he was trying to be serious.
Yep. So to deliver that promo.
And so, like from the beginning, you have Gunther opening up the show.
Tremendous.
And
he's gotten better.
His promo, great promo. But again, us as the crowd, we being there, we booed him out. You couldn't fucking hear him. You couldn't hear him whatsoever. As soon as he started talking, he was getting drowned out by. Even Michael Cole had to say, "Hey, we know. Let's try to calm it down a little bit so we can hear what he's trying to say," type of thing. That's obviously not word for word, but essentially that's what he was saying.
Like you said,
but we didn't
Sacramento
give a fuck.
knew the
We were
assignment.
still gonna boo him regardless. You took out Jimmy. You brought out a different side of fucking Jay. That went, fuck you, Gunther. That's what we were all. We were all on that path.
Yes.
So, but that promo, if you listen to it, a great promo, but also you can hear the hints of Gunther's a little thrown off. He's a little, fuck, Jay stood up to me. He's not scared. There's nothing that I can do to get into his head.
It's because now he went back street. He went back to his roots.
Jay's promo, not this week, but last week,
fire.
Face to face with Gunther, knocking the microphone out of his hand, telling him, "I'm gonna get you."
Fire.
For my family, for Jay, for myself, for everybody, I'm gonna get you. That promo, by far, was the best promo that Jay Uso has ever had in his entire career.
Hands down. As a solo.
As a solo. There's nothing better that he's done.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I was telling Mizzle while we were at the show. And this is just purely how I look at it. After WrestleMania, I believe Gunther should still have the title.
Oh, yeah, me and you've been going back and forth with this.
Because you want to try and give that legitimacy to the title type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
If he went 666 with the Intercontinental title, he should probably go about the same, if not a little bit more, with the World Heavyweight Championship, just to again bring that prestige to it.
But what proposition did I bring to you though? What did I? What
That promo.
mm. I was like, do you think Jay should win it WrestleMania, and then the match? He invokes his rematch, and he wins it back. Now I kind of feel that would be disrespecting Jay because I think he should hold the title a little bit longer than he held the title.
Well,
but then I kind of feel what JP is saying though, what to do with Gunther because he's fucking killing it right now.
But
and I looked at it in the sense of because of Jay's promo last week and everything that they've kind of built it, the fact that Gunther beat the shit out of Jay or out
Jimmy.
of Jimmy in front of Jay.
He wins
everything that they go on logically for me at WrestleMania, Jay wins the title because he's gonna get the biggest pop of the night if he does.
Bro, they're gonna be yeeting all night long, bro.
And Vegas then Raw after WrestleMania, Gunther invokes his, championship rematch and gets it back.
How long we've been watching it this long enough to know that could possibly happen?
Well, I mean, but look at this way.
Right?
Look at it this way. We go back to 97. The 4-way in your house. Bret Hart wins the title.
Yep.
Stone Cold comes in, sets up the submission match, sets up the double turn at WrestleMania 13. Psycho Sid wins the title. Of course, sets up Undertaker, Psycho Sid, WrestleMania 13. We go back to SummerSlam 99. Mankind wins the title for the last time. Triple H the next night wins it for the first time. Starts Triple H's run as the world title. I mean, as much as this hurts me, but I mean, twice in WCW, Randy wins the world title.
Yes.
Beats Sting at Spring Stampede. The next night, drops it to Hogan. Beats Kevin Nash at Bash at the Beach in 99. Drops it the next night to Hogan. We don't see Savage for damn near a year, which, kind of makes me mad because, I mean, 2 times Savage holds the world title, holds it not even for 24 hours. So, it has happened. It does make sense. But also at the same time, if you do that, don't you feel like it would kill all the momentum that Jay has built up since this singles run?
That's why I feel a certain way. That's why I feel JP should be right for him to win that WrestleMania. But the pop you get if he wins it. Because oh my gosh.
Look, I know that Raw after WrestleMania is always the biggest Raw of the year.
100%. Next to the last one.
I completely understand that. But when you're talking about where you're going to get the biggest pop, are you going to get the biggest pop at WrestleMania or are you going to get the biggest pop at the Raw after?
WrestleMania.
It's going to be both.
Well, I mean, but more fans are going to more fans are going to be in Allegiant.
Saying, if you're talking about WrestleMania moment, big time. There's so much more when it comes to WrestleMania than does the Raw after. I'm not diminishing Raw after WrestleMania whatsoever because a lot of great things have happened at Raw after WrestleMania. Dolph Ziggler cashing in, winning his world championship, the huge pop that he got.
But at
Paige
the same time,
coming and winning the Divas championship against AJ Lee after. There's a whole lot that you can do with it.
You're messing with Mrs. Hart talking about Mrs. Brooks.
But it's like when you look at it, which one are you going to get the biggest pop at? And by
It's
far,
WrestleMania.
you're
I
going to
think it's
get the biggest
WrestleMania.
pop at WrestleMania.
I agree.
There's no doubt about it. You're going to get the biggest pop at WrestleMania. So
But sometimes though,
you give Jay the win at WrestleMania. He gets his WrestleMania moment. Biggest pop of the night, probably show stealer.
pyro all over the
And
place.
Oh,
and then
bro.
again,
And then
you give it back to Gunther the night after. You get that heat that Gunther's probably going to get, but you're also still, you give him back the title so he can keep, the prestige of it. Because I don't know, and this is no knock to Jay, because again, he's over as fuck. If you watch the video that we put up of everybody in Sacramento, from the nosebleed section all the way to the floor seats.
And there really is no bad seat in that arena. It is not.
no.
No,
Unless you're watching basketball.
But I was showing Mizzle and TG. I was like, look what's going on right now. Like we're getting our yeet on. We're on camera. We got everything going. But when I shit you not, when you look up at the top levels and you realize that every single human being, every single bit of the 16,000 plus that were in that fucking arena were yeeting with Jey Uso as he came down, that tells me he's more over than people think he is.
Imagine that yeeting at Allegiant Stadium. Every seat filled yeeting at Allegiant Stadium. Ooh, I mean they're gonna do it when he walks out. But if he wins,
bro, I'm telling you, if he wins, he's gonna blow the fucking top off that arena.
Hey, are you bringing the camera just in case we can go live?
Duh.
WrestleMania is being hosted at Casa de Mizzo, so you might be checking this out.
Absolutely, I'm bringing it. What? But that match itself, again, is gonna depend, regardless of how they go with it. If they go with Gunther winning, it's gonna bring a shit ton of heat on Gunther, because as a heel, that's what you want. You want that heat.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, Jay is so. Whether Jay wins or loses, it doesn't matter. He's still over to the point where it really doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter whether he wins or loses.
We're still going to be eating.
100%. Everybody from top to bottom row are going to be
eating
with Jey Uso, whether he wins or loses.
And to see Pat McAfee eating, that was dope.
Michael Cole.
And he finally got this down.
Going
he finally got that down.
He's over to the point where it's. Some people are probably going to disagree with this. That's okay.
We live for that.
He's over to the point where he doesn't need the title.
Facts. I don't disagree with that statement. I do not disagree with that statement, JP. That is a damn.
He doesn't need to beat Gunther to still be over at the end of the day.
Nope.
Kind of like The Undertaker. Didn't need the title to solidify him.
You didn't.
So did Austin. Austin needs the title.
At that point right now.
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason why I say that is, again, being at the arena, watching every human being just with him from start to finish, one more time, just to keep going. I'm looking at that going, Jey Uso is over bigger than he's ever been in his entire career. Tag team, singles, does not matter. He is over with everybody.
Yep.
He does not need to win the title for the fans to be behind him. He's gotten to that level right now.
Look at our quotes in there. Me and my brother both got yeet. That lets you know right there.
And you guys walking in being like 10 feet from him, again, I'm envious as fuck that y'all got to be able to do that. That y'all got to be able to see that.
That was fantastic.
I was hoping that he'd be in our row, but even one row over, you got the feeling of everybody.
You was that
Because when you
that
and
close to
TJ
him.
came in, bro, I don't know if you noticed this, but when you walked in and yelled out, "We walked in with Jey Uso," he's right there.
Everybody stood up.
Everybody in that fucking section was like, "Oh shit!" But hey, Chad Gable came out and gave his little promo. Nobody gave a fuck.
Nope. Not in our section.
Nobody gave a fuck about that promo.
Thank
Nobody
you.
gave a fuck about that promo because
He was
Mizzle
nobody.
and TG came out saying the 109 and 108 motherfuckers. Jay is right there.
Thank
Jay
you.
is right there. Y'all started that.
I wanted to be in my seat to come in, and I know you missed that part, but I wanted to come back to my seat to make sure that we eat it. No, I can't. That I literally told you when I got the tickets, and I said, brother, we're gonna be eating.
And I told when we got the tickets, because you would ask me, what tickets do you think would be, where should we go?
He said, right here.
I said, right in the corner, right here at 109, 108, one of these two corners. Because Jay, whether, whoever comes down from the crowd, whether it's Jay or whether it's somebody else, always comes down from this corner. It is guaranteed that we will be on film on Netflix one way or another. We got 109. Boom. 5 times. Booker T style.
Wait, he sent that section to me. About 5 minutes later, I said, we're eating.
I had I was wearing this. Bright orange.
Great call.
I was originally gonna get the green one. But then I was telling Mizzle, I had thought to myself, if it was like a highlighter green, it would stand out. Yeah. But the green that was available wouldn't have stood out as much as the orange would.
Well, I told you, if you didn't come up with that idea, I probably would have saw us. Because like I said, I saw the orange shirt first, and I was like, well, there's a lot of orange shirts because there was a lot of orange Yeet shirts. But then I looked over to the left, and I'm like, that's a blue shirt.
Yeah.
And then I looked a little bit more, and then I'm like, that's a white shirt. And then as it panned out, and you see, I'm like, oh shit, that's us.
Because as soon as you realized where we were, like we were 2 rows away from where like the wall hits and the VIP is above us.
And we were right by the 109 number.
Yeah, we were right there. So, and even though people had the orange Yee shirts, it was sprinkled. So as soon as you knew where we were at in the section, as soon as you find the orange, white, and the blue, you knew where we were at. You knew exactly where it was at.
Well, I thank you, brother, because I got to walk with one of my favorite
for that because I And you know what? When you had left to go get TG,
Mm-hmm.
I had thought about that too, going like, I hope they run into Jay as he's coming in. I was like, I hope they do, because then I know, first of all, Mizzle's going to have film of it. And second of all, I know for Mizzle and TG themselves, like, that's going to be like a fucking great moment. And then, again, watching y'all come in, we came in with Jay Uso. He's right there. We came in. As soon as I heard that, I'm like, we're
That
cool.
slightly makes up for not being in Vegas for WrestleMania.
Hey,
That
cool.
moment right there. And then
We're
just number one,
good.
still the yeet with it.
The first three matches. One of them was Maxine versus Zoe Stark.
Didn't know she was from Sacramento.
Didn't know Maxine was from Sacramento. I'm
Nope.
with you. I didn't know she was from Sacramento until that match came out. She came out in the Sacramento Kings jersey. You know, everything was cool.
Lit.
Came in, won with the schoolboy roll up. I was cracking up. I thought that was funny as fuck, because she was getting her ass beat the entire match.
Maxine has gotten better though, bro. Can we all agree with that? The panel, can we all agree that she's gotten better since they put her out?
From when she first got to main roster to now,
yeah,
100%.
She's gotten better. 100%.
Her selling has gotten over the top.
Yeah,
at this point, she's really gotten good.
You could tell she's been at the performance center too, because she's that hip toss. She's been working on that.
Yeah,
the leg kick. Oh, go ahead, Doug.
Go ahead and put them up.
Yep. And then after her,
were you able to switch into JPEGs?
Go ahead and put the slides up.
Oh, he got slides for us. Oh, there's Monday Night Raw slides. I sent Dub some pictures and asked for him to switch into JPEG of us.
So like with her in that match, she goes over. Again, for about 80 to 90% of the match, and this was a Saturday night's main event match. Yes. Zoe Stark was beating the shit out of her the whole time. Mm-hmm. About 90% of the match. She gets up the roll up. Everybody goes nuts. Maxine has her hometown moment. Moving up.
Love it.
Next match,
Kaiser versus
y'all got to see Bayley's cheeks live.
Who?
One more time?
Y'all got to see Bayley's cheeks live.
Well, that's not the first time I've seen Bayley. I've seen Bayley a couple of times.
Well.
Not like this.
He said not like that.
But so the second match of the night was Kaiser versus Tyler Bate, which is a good one. Kaiser was over.
I think this is my second time seeing Kaiser.
Kaiser got over because of the whole, telling Charlotte, "Hey, don't flatter yourself. I was not in your DMs."
Isn't that crazy how Twitter can change someone's fan perspective? Like, Kaiser was one of the hated people in it all around. He got the Gunther booing.
Yep.
But he was loved.
And not to mention he's banging
that night, yeah. That night for sure. And then after that match itself, I was like, wow, pretty good match.
Yeah.
This probably could have been a Raw or SmackDown match.
It could have.
For sure. But and you could see Kaiser, pointing at the WrestleMania sign, going like, I should be.
I think he might be in there some way, somehow. We might get a little surprise thing from Kaiser on
I think
either it might be Saturday.
During the Jay versus Gunther match.
Ooh.
It may be a little overbooked.
Does he screw over Gunther and that's how Jay wins?
That would be an interesting swerve.
Because there's
That'd
been
be a
tension.
swerve and a half.
There's been a little tension between them two until Kaiser said what his angle was going for the IC title, and then Gunter gave him his little blessing to do that. But there's been tension between them two. If you've been watching Raw for a while, so could that be a little swerve?
That could. There's a big possibility to that. Actually, now that you mention it, there's
See, here's the thing. When it comes to WrestleMania, ladies and gentlemen that are watching, there's so many angles that can happen. We can sit here and say this, that, and the third can happen till our face turns blue, but it could be that way. But the crowd can change anything in a moment in WrestleMania. The script could be, it could be, let's just say this. Let's say Cody Rhodes is supposed to win the championship match between him and John Cena. But if the crowd starts feeding, which it won't happen because John Cena is hated. I'm just trying to give an example. But if the crowd is going towards Cena,
if we had a WrestleMania 18 moment,
right, like Hogan and The Rock, the crowd won that match. The crowd did it. Hence the reason why that you had Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes is because of the crowd, the fans. It was supposed to be The Rock.
The Cody crybabies.
Exactly. Which The Rock delivered that so beautifully, didn't he?
But here's
my God, the narrative he changed with that was classic.
And think about this for a quick second, Mizzle. When the "Let's go Cena, Cena sucks" chance happened, how 50-50 was it?
Not like you think. It was more Cena suck than it was Let's Go Cena.
How I heard it,
and that's not my. And hold on, wait before you go, JP. Let me go ahead and say this. That is not my Cena hate, because guess what? I'm on board for this heel Cena. I love it. I love him being an asshole. But just for me being a real purist fan of this entertainment, I heard a little more and more of the Cena suck because I think people are starting to grasp this heel turn of his, because what he's delivering, like, I've been for you fans. Like, I'm feeling that, like, yeah, you have been for the people. You have been the Make-A-Wish Foundation, this, that, and the third. You had that small little heel turn, but majority of your career has been for the people and these kids.
And that's where, like, when we heard it in Sacramento, the "Let's go Cena" chants to me felt more like, we know he's heel, but we're holding out hope that he really isn't.
We still believe in that good John Cena.
We still believe that he's really there.
He's gone.
But the Cena sucks chants were we know he's heel,
brokenhearted,
but we're behind the fact that he's heel. It's almost like the Cena sucks chant sounded more like "Let's go Cena."
I like that perspective. I like how you flip that.
You know what I mean?
I like how you flip that. I did.
It's kind of like, if you really, because again, we've been saying it from the beginning, since he made the heel turn. This heel turn has been a gift.
Legendary.
To the fans.
Yeah.
You know, he came out saying that, again, and we've talked about it on this show before, that we knew he was going to bring back the, even though I was good, you booed me anyways. You had said I didn't know how to wrestle. You knew how you've been saying all this shit from, the 5 moves of doom, all that other kind of crap. You've
I
been
know my
throwing
brother's
that
not
in my
looking,
face
but
the entire fucking time. People had been waiting for. Do you remember when he had that promo where he kind of said like little heel turn, and then he did the little with his heel on the floor and everything, like just that little heel turn type of thing.
kind of seeing
And
how the
when he
crowd will
did
react
that,
to it.
everybody in the crowd went, "Yes, that's what we want. We want the heel turn. We want to see after 15, 20 years of nothing but face John Cena, of Make-A-Wish John Cena.
By the way,
We want to go back and see the reason why we fucking fell in love with you in the first place.
we don't dislike the Make-A-Wish Foundation side of John Cena. That's not what we're saying. But Dub, I want to ask you this question. How long have I despised this man?
Probably since WrestleMania 20.
When he first came into the company?
No. When he won the United States title from the Big Show.
Oh, that's when I did turn into the. See,
That-
this is why my brother knows me when I don't know myself.
Because he appreciated him smacking Stephanie in the ass, and then right after WrestleMania 20, when he beat the Big Show, wearing the Patrick Ewing jersey at the Garden at the Mecca, that's when he that's when he started the whole F Cena. And then once he got to Raw, well, okay, his height for really the second Cena happened the next year at WrestleMania 21 when he beat JBL to become the World Heavyweight Champion.
I love JBL.
Then that went to the whole.
I've still told people from this day, if I ever got into professional wrestling, like if I ever went into a school or whatever, I feel like my finishing move would be the clothesline from hell.
JBL.
AKA, folks, the Lariat. Mastered by Stan the Lariat Hansen.
Yes.
The originator.
Of
the Axie Bomber.
I watched JBL and his, clothesline from hell, I looked at that going like, this is the most fucking brutal move.
And it got brutal when he was APA.
Yeah.
That's when it was legit. That's when it was like out of this world. Like, oh, you're just sitting here just trying to sit in these.
But again,
as basic as it is, it's so beautiful.
He took it.
JPL patented. He patented it.
Yeah, he patented it from Stan the Lariat Hansen because Stan the Lariat Hansen was the originator.
Yeah.
To which, for people that don't know, Stan Hansen was stiff as fuck. And for what that means, folks, is
mildly.
Well, okay. When someone says they're green, that means they're young, or they're
they don't know shit.
When someone says they're stiff, that means they really do hit you.
Oh yeah.
Stan Hansen, stiff. The great Big Van Vader, stiff. When those two got together, that was hitting for real. Stan Hansen really popped Vader's eye out of his socket. One of the most gruesome things out of footage you will ever see is Vader's right eye literally coming out of his face.
This is what I'm about to say to you in a reference from how we just said this. It's in how we love boxing. When we say two featherweights from Mexico boxing each other, what do we always say?
Whole bunch of leather gonna be thrown.
No defense. Featherweights from Mexico? Forget about it.
Nothing but leather.
We're going to kill each other tonight.
Leather to the face. That's all you're gonna see. But when it was Hansen and Vader, nothing but stiff shots to the face.
And did it disappoint?
No.
No.
Okay, I'll even say it like this, okay? Now, as much crap as you want to give Terry Jean Balea, and rightfully so, even Hogan worked Stan Hansen's type of match. But of course,
Can't do that anymore, brother.
But of course,
It doesn't work. Doesn't work for me, brother.
But of course, this was in Japan. We're actually hoping to show that it actually could do the Japanese style, but that's a whole other story for another show. But
Well, this is the perfect show to talk about. No, I don't understand. We're talking about WrestleMania. My bad.
well, he has had a lot of WrestleMania moments. But now, let me drop this in here real quick for you guys, though. Now,
Drop it, brother.
as much as the atmosphere is electric, having WrestleManias inside big stadiums, but isn't there at times you kind of miss the intimacy of WrestleMania being in the small arenas like it was back in the day when we were in our youth and our adolescence, per se?
Well, I believe the crowd noise was off the Richter when it was in that kind of set. So yes, but I know what the company is trying to get. They're trying to draw the bigger crowd.
Oh, I get it.
Because it's more international now.
Oh yeah.
When we were watching it, the international part was starting to happen. Now it's just full blown international.
Well, I'll say it like this: WrestleMania 3 kind of started that to see, okay, could we do it? And they did,
brother. Yeah.
And then that quickly turned into, ever since WrestleMania 17, it has been exclusively in big stadiums. Of course, WrestleMania 17 was in the original 8th wonder of the world, the Astrodome, and since then, it has been in football type stadiums.
So you can bring in the international crowd.
Yeah,
that's what they want now.
Oh yeah, no, because
Mizzle, we were talking about it earlier today when we met up that most of the WrestleMania crowds, at least a third
are international people.
Those crowds,
yes, international
fans
from
overseas.
International, yeah.
And
they show you with their
overseas crowds.
I traveled this many miles to come watch WrestleMania.
Well, not just that,
bring the energy.
Not just that, they also bring their country's flags with them also.
Well, that, as JP just said, their energy.
And plus, a third of them will also be at the Raw after WrestleMania.
100%. And then they will be at SmackDown. Just not Raw. They will be at SmackDown and bringing that ole, wherever they come from.
And the Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah, 100%. 100%.
Speaking of which, just to go over, folks, here is 2025's class for the Hall of Fame.
Triple H is in that bad boy.
Obviously headlined by Triple H. Obviously,
yes,
that goes without saying. Also, the total package. AKA Lex Luger. Who will be inducted by Diamond Dallas Page because Tony Khan's being a little bitch and not letting.
And by the way, JP, I would have worn my RPP shirt, but it was still too wet because I washed it. I would have had mine on. But I'm representing the legend.
I mean, it's just that night with everything that happened, we had, obviously we had Liv Bailey. We had AJ versus Karrion, which we'll get into that a little bit on how that kind of.
And I watched the match, and I'm gonna start. I gotta respect Karrion Kross a little bit more now.
So for that match for AJ versus Karrion, it threw me off a little bit in the sense of the point of the match
didn't make sense.
Karrion was trying to get into AJ's head that we need this. We need you to beat Logan Paul. This is for the boys in the locker room. And then when they had the match, Scarlett is interfering. When Logan Paul comes out and attacks AJ Styles, Karrion Kross, in a way, AIDS Logan Paul.
Yep.
So for me, it was like that's what threw me off, because I mean I got to see the post match promo that Karrion Kross did, which I thought was a pretty good promo. But again, in my head, I was like, if you were behind AJ so much, you wanted to bring the savage AJ out against Logan Paul type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If you were so against Logan Paul, why would you, in a sense, aid him into Paul being able to hit the pulverizer, which
is a very fucking impressive move right now. Oh, wait, I'll show my face for this one.
that finisher is pretty fucking legit. I have my qualms against Logan
I've
Paul.
never seen something like that, and it's
It's a
flush.
pretty damn good finisher.
It's flush.
So if you were so much on the side of AJ, you have to win this for us.
Don't open the door for that to happen.
Why would you? And you had the guys in front of us. You had a few guys in the front row. When Scarlett got involved, I yelled out, "For what, Scarlett? For what? Why?" And the people in front of us were laughing because they knew what I was thinking. Now, Mizzle at this point had gone to go get TG, so it was just me there. So when I'm watching this, I'm going like, you literally just told AJ last week that we, as the boys, as the locker room, need you to win this match. Why would you do everything? Why would you then at that point aid Logan Paul in getting the upper hand on AJ?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, didn't like that
That
situation.
at that point, I was like, why wouldn't you help AJ to get over on Paul?
Mm-hmm.
That, for me, I was like, that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. But then he had his promo, and I was like, okay, like it justifies it a little bit,
Not a lot.
not a whole lot. But
No.
as overall, it's kind of like they could have done it differently.
Yeah.
For sure.
I've always felt that way about Karrion Kross.
I mean, see, for now, I completely understand why you feel the way you feel about Karrion Kross. Because I kind of feel the same way. What is he here for?
Yep.
What's his angle?
Yep.
Like, why are you here? What is it that your presence brings to the roster?
The main roster, by the way.
Right. And you had told it like for the guys that were sitting in front of us. Like, nobody really gives a shit about why you're here. What are you really here for? And I think the promo that he did post-match that we got to see after the fact, obviously,
A little bit. I understand.
what he was trying to bring to the table. What he kind of like telling everybody, going like, I don't know why I'm the only one who fucking feels this way. I don't know why I'm the only one who feels like the wrestler should be the one. Why is it these outside guys are coming in and getting over on us? I don't fucking get it. Which to me, when I watched that promo, I was like, that makes sense.
Feed off that.
He's
It
finally kind of, like you said, getting an edge to the point where now we know what he's about.
Mm-hmm.
He's more starting to become that the wrestling purist.
Okay. I'll take that.
And which is, again, it's taken him a little while to get to this point.
Yes, it has.
He's got a great entrance. I'm not gonna lie.
It's pretty badass. I ain't gonna lie about that. I can't
You know
get on that.
so like now that he's got his old entrance back with the the Fall and Prey, he's got Scarlett in there doing her thing and everything else like that. But now he's kind of getting to the point where we can now see that he's becoming the wrestler that's he wants to be that guy who proves the difference between a professional wrestler and a sports entertainer.
Can I drop this one on you? And it just hit me. Remember when Undertaker became I can't remember the exact name of the version that he became, but when he kidnapped Stephanie, put on the cross,
The Lord
yada,
of
yada,
Darkness.
yada. The Lord of Darkness. Can you kind of see that they're trying to do that with Karrion Kross?
Like bring back the corporate ministry?
Not bring back the corporate ministry, not that. But I'm trying to say
Something similar, though.
Something similar to the Undertaker's character. How Undertaker was manipulating, trying to, the same way, just reaching out to wrestlers and be like, you're going in the wrong path. Like what he's doing, what Cross is doing with AJ Styles.
Well, I mean,
or what he
if
did
you
with
really
other
look
wrestlers.
at Karrion Kross, like his character, outside of this whole thing with AJ Styles,
Yes.
every wrestler that he's had a feud with
His
has
hairstyle is
never been the same after.
Ooh.
They've always had some sort of like, when they go with Karrion Kross brings out a certain look. Karrion Kross brings out in certain wrestlers going, fuck, he may be right. I might not necessarily be on the path that I think that I'm on.
Mm-hmm.
I could be better. I could be, because if you really look at Karrion Kross's his promos and the styles of the matches and stuff that he's had, it's more bringing out everybody that he's gone up against, bringing out that savage mode of each, kind of like what Bray Wyatt brought to every wrestler that he faced after the fact. Nobody was the same after they faced Bray Wyatt.
He was different.
It's kind of that type of feeling that they're trying to get with him. And with Karrion Kross, the thing with him is when he first came into NXT and when he was like doing the indie stuff, when he first came into NXT, I looked at him going, fuck, this dude can be a world champion at some point.
And he's big too. That's the thing I didn't know.
Big dude. He's big athletic.
Dude.
He can do a lot of the high spots. He's pretty well versed in a lot of different styles of wrestling.
Yeah. Agree.
It's just, like you said, just a matter of finding his niche. We haven't necessarily been able to find what defines Karrion Kross this year. And I think right now with this whole thing with AJ, with Logan, with how we're kind of starting to understand what Karrion Kross's role in the roster is.
I'm starting to figure it out. Yeah.
Finally.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Took a
especially
few
even
years.
after that promo, it made me actually start to realize, holy fuck. Because he even stated in the promo, he hasn't had a match on Raw since 2023. 2023. Think
And how
about
they
that.
travel, that's big. How they travel in their shows, that's huge. That's like like you almost got fired.
Yeah,
So
demotion.
he's been on that point of he's basically been this close to being fired. Everyone around you
Mm-hmm.
has been fired.
Yep.
The authors of pain, everyone around you has been fired, but you haven't.
Mm-hmm.
So you obviously have something that Triple H likes.
Something, because that was Vince's boy at one time.
So now it's at a point where
No. Karrion Kross has always been Triple H's boy. That's
I
right.
mean, so it's at a point now where when you're looking at Karrion Kross, you're finally kind of starting to see
I understand.
where his role in the roster is becoming. He's kind of taking over half Bray Wyatt
With
type
a
of,
little,
TikTok time is coming.
with a little bit of Seth Rollins visionariness.
Exactly. It took him a little while to get there.
Yeah, he's there now though.
But
He
he's
got it.
now getting there
Yeah,
to a certain point. He's still, high mid card.
he's still a little green. It's a little green. A little green.
But within the next 2 years, I would say,
Mm-hmm.
he'll be in the mix for a world champion, WWE champion
Yeah.
type of style.
Yeah.
So like when you saw that's where that kind of, again, him and his match with AJ Styles, like I get the point that they were trying to bring more out of AJ, but even from watching that match, there was still more they could have pulled out of it.
Yep. Yep.
There was a little bit more that they could have pulled out of AJ. Because if you're trying to get to that point of you want to bring the absolute best out of AJ Styles to the point where you can guarantee that he's going to beat Logan Paul, they were a fraction short.
Yep.
They could have gone a little bit more, and the only reason why I say that is because of the fact that Karrion Kross getting involved with essentially fucking over AJ Styles to where Paul got the advantage, that contradicts what he was trying to get him to do in the first place.
Yep. Yeah.
So like I understand where he's going, but at least for this match going into WrestleMania, there could have been a little bit more that brought out the more savage side of AJ,
Mm-hmm.
while at the same time not contradicting what Karrion Kross was saying in the first place. You know what I mean?
Oh, I love it. I love
There's some of it that is just like, I understand, but you could have gone a different way about doing it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Scarlett didn't need to get involved. You didn't need to interfere with, when Logan Paul came down and did what he did and everything. You didn't need to help Logan Paul. If you were
Just
going
be
to
the
do
fair and square.
anything, you should have interfered in favor of AJ. I mean, if we're talking about what you were saying going into this match, you should have favored AJ, but you didn't.
Yeah.
So now you can look at it in two ways. Either one, it doesn't make any sense. Why the fuck did you aid Logan Paul? Or two, you were trying to get AJ to the point where you need to understand that anything can fucking happen. And this man, Logan Paul, will do whatever he possibly can to get one up on you.
Yep.
And you need to get that.
Yep.
Now, it may not be me, but it could be Speed showing up again. It could be Kai Cenat showing up again. Hell, it could be Jake Paul showing up to get into your head, to throw you off the game to where Logan Paul is going to actually get enough of an edge to be able to get him, for him to get the win. Now, for me, do I look at it and go, realistically, AJ Styles should 100% at WrestleMania go over on Jake Paul?
I don't think that's where the company's going right now.
I don't think so either.
I think Paul is somewhat of a future.
And the problem I have with that is,
he'll be a part-timer.
As much as I hate Jake Paul, from what I've seen, he's got potential. He could be a really damn good heel.
I think he's already in that direction right now.
That impulsive finisher, it's a pretty fucking good-looking finisher.
Very good move.
You got to give credit where credit is due.
That's what we say around here.
So it's one of those things going, and I talked to you about it. When he went up against Rey Mysterio, and I'm talking about Jake Paul here, that Rey Mysterio match, you could tell at that match, Jake Paul is nothing but a high spot guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
When it comes to actually, it's kind of like, when I think of it, I think about it when Goldberg took on William Regal.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? William Regal came in, the technical side basically exposed Goldberg for what he truly was. Just a 2-minute guy. Jackhammer, spear, jackhammer, that's the show.
Throw you off the ropes, this, that, take this, that, and the third. Yeah.
You know, he exposed the fact that Goldberg couldn't actually go for 15 plus. Rey Mysterio, Logan Paul showed me that Logan Paul isn't there just yet. He's still a high spot guy at this point in time. Now, if you're going to put that against a guy like AJ Styles, who at any point in time could be a 5-star guy, he's that good.
Is he not a Grand Slam champion?
Who, AJ?
Yeah.
Is he a Grand Slam? I don't know if he's a Grand Slam. I don't know if he's gotten tag team.
Ooh, that might be the one that's holding him back. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense.
I'm pretty sure
he held the IC strap.
I know he's gotten world title. I think he's got, and Deb, you may need to look this up for us. But I know he's gotten WWE title. I don't know if he's gotten a world title.
Who are we talking about here?
AJ
AJ
Styles.
Styles. If he's a
I
Grand
asked if he
Slam
was.
champion.
Yeah, I asked if he was a Grand Slam champion.
I don't think he is. And if he is, and if he isn't, I think he might be one, maybe two off.
You might be right, JP. You might be right.
Because I'm not sure if he's gotten the. I'm actually pretty positive he has not gotten the tag team titles. I'm not even sure if he's gotten the U.S. title or even the fucking IC title.
If we're strictly talking about his WWF career, twice he has been WWE champion. One time he's been Intercontinental champion. 3 times he's been the United States champion.
Okay.
And he was a tag team champion with Almost.
So he is a Grand Slam champion.
So he is the 15th Grand Slam champion under the current format. And he's the 32nd WWF Triple Crown winner.
See, that kind of changes everything going at the fact that I don't think he should if they job out AJ Styles to Logan Paul.
Well, I'll just say I was right.
To me, that shows that one.
So here's the actual list of the Triple Crown winners.
Okay.
The legendary Pedro Morales.
Yeah.
Bret the Hitman Hart.
Yeah.
As shocking as this sounds, Kevin Nash, Diesel.
What the fuck?
Wow.
Wow, yeah, right? Wow, okay.
Well, remember, Diesel's first belt was the tag team champions with Shawn Michaels. Then he beat Razor
Shawn
Ramon
Michaels.
for the IC title. Then beat Bob Backlund in 8 seconds.
Was that the big boot out of the backstage? I know he booted somebody. Okay.
All right.
Go ahead with the list.
Obviously, Shawn Michaels.
Yes.
Austin.
Yes.
The Rock.
Yes.
Triple H.
Yes.
Your guy, Mr. Glenn Jacobs, the mayor.
Kane.
Mr. Chris Irvine, a.k.a. Chris Jericho.
Yes.
Kurt Angle.
Wow.
The late Eddie Guerrero. The late Chris Benoit. The Nature Boy, Ric Flair.
Not shocked.
Cope. The whole effing show.
RVD.
The five-time heavyweight champion of the world, Booker T. The Apex Predator, give it to Orton.
Not shocked.
Jeff Hardy.
Wow,
really?
Jeff Hardy.
Yes.
Okay.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Can you imagine if Jeff hadn't gone through the shit he'd gone through?
Oh, wait a minute. Did I miss
well, the shit him and Edge
wise, like had he not gone through the issues that he dealt with?
Well, hell, he wasn't supposed to be in WWE after that last incident when he damn near killed some people.
I mean, to be honest, his career should have been over after the TNA incident with him and Sting. Yeah.
I think that's the incident I'm talking about.
Once that happened,
you gotta go, bro. Go get some help.
Yeah, you need to. I mean, he's been in and out of rehab, what, like 3-4 times?
Probably more than that.
All right, Mr. Phillip Brooks.
Of
John
course,
Bradshaw.
Wow, CM Punk. Okay.
John Bradshaw Layfield. Rey Mysterio. Now, this one's quite shocking, but Dolph Ziggler's on that list.
Wow.
With how they treat him, wow, that's shocked.
Wait, hold on. Dolph Ziggler is a Grand Slam champion?
Yes.
Wow.
Won the world title.
When did he win the WWE championship?
He won the world title. If you win the world title, either the WWE title or the world title, that's considered a Grand Slam winner.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like both. you had to win either the WWE and the World Heavyweight Championship.
Well, remember there's different categories because there's all Triple Crown eligible titles, which if you're highlighted in gold, that's Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Kane, Jericho, Edge, Orton, and Jeff Hardy. Big Show.
How I look at Grand Slam is World Heavyweight, WWE, Tag Team, IC, United States. If you've won all 5 of those, you're a Grand Slam champion. I mean, hell, even The Miz is a Grand Slam champion.
Well, this is triple. Now, see, this is Triple Crown winners.
Oh, Triple Crown. Oh, okay. Okay.
This is Triple Crown. Okay.
Gotcha.
Now,
it's one of the either or WWE or World Heavyweight.
Yeah,
gotcha.
That's Triple Crown. Now, if we're going strictly just off a Grand Slam, it's only 15. Hold on. Now we'll read that list off in a second. Hold on.
We speak facts no matter what we talk about.
Try to, at least.
Okay, go down.
And if we don't know, we'll find it.
Okay.
We're
talking Grand Slam. Okay. We're talking about just Grand Slam. Here are those guys. Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Kane, Chris Jericho, Kurt Angle, Eddie Guerrero, Rob Van Dam, Booker T, Jeff Hardy, JBL, Christian, Big Show.
That's a hell of a list.
12 total.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Not even John Cena's on that list.
John Cena has never won the Intercontinental title.
Really?
Mm-hmm. He's been the U.S. champion, I think, twice or 3 times, but he's never won the Intercontinental Championship.
Wow.
I don't know
for the person that can go worldwide, but that's kind of crazy.
I don't know if he's ever even fought for the Intercontinental Championship.
I won't argue that.
Not that I can remember. I'm probably wrong.
Because if we're looking at his championships, and we're going down his WWF career, 13 times he's been the WWE champion.
Here's my snooze fest.
3 times here comes Orange Cassidy. 3 times he's been the World Heavyweight Champion.
Yes.
5 times he's won the United States Heavyweight Championship.
Wow.
All right. 2 times he's won the WWE Tag Team title. 2 times he's won the World Tag Team title. So that's all his championships that he's won.
He's never won the Tag Team Champions?
He has.
Twice.
Okay.
He's won the WWE Tag Team Championships with The Miz and David Otunga, of all people. And then the World Tag Team Championship he won with Batista and Shawn Michaels.
Hold on. Wait. He's won the Tag Team Championships with David Otunga?
The WWF Tag Team Championships he won twice. Once with The Miz, once with David Otunga. The World Tag Team Championship he won with Batista and Shawn Michaels.
Still, the simple fact of the matter that he won the tag team titles with.
The fact that he has one with David Otunga.
Yeah.
Of all people.
All people.
David Otunga. That to me is like, where the fuck have I been the last 20 years?
Turn the lights off. Everybody's going to bed.
Like, that's
a dream.
That's insanity. Okay. But the IC title has been the only one that's eluded him.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I see Dub has went into Batman mode.
You said turn off the lights, so I turned off the lights.
You stupid.
And light a candle. So, are we seeing the sprinkles of a Bianca Belair heel turn Is it finally going to happen? Because if you haven't been paying attention, fans, the fans are starting to boo her now. Because
I don't know why.
here it is, and I'm gonna tell you why. It's almost kind of the same thing that Bex went through. She was over, but then the man act got stale, and then she became big time Bex and reinvented herself, and then got over again. I think now with Bianca is she's Bianca's kind of getting shoved down our throats like they were trying to shove Roman back in the 2014, 2015
And
type
Karrion
of
Kross.
thing.
I don't know if
That's what some fans think. Because again,
I agree but disagree in a sense of, and I've said this before. I think Bianca Belair is the female Shawn Michaels when it comes to WrestleMania.
Ooh, slightly like that.
as far as in-ring performance, yes, I won't argue that.
She when it comes to WrestleMania, as long as she's been on the main roster and been performing in WrestleMania, she has not gone wrong at all. But I do think it is a long overdue moment of her going heel. Now, when you look at Io Sky, which
Ooh.
I told Mizzle today, after that promo that she did on Monday Night Raw, you know, they're in Sacramento, going, essentially, this is not word for word, but this is basically what happened. She basically said, y'all must have forgotten who the fuck I am.
Right?
I beat both of you bitches for the championships.
And you felt her promo. You felt Io Sky's promo.
It's like you seem to forget, one, Rhea, I beat you for the current world championship.
Well, not to mention Rhea's never beaten her, period.
Bianca, I beat your ass for the Raw Women's Championship. And Liv is obviously not in this category, but beat her too.
Yep.
Io Sky has, under the radar, become a 3-time women's world champion.
And wasn't she the inaugural winner of the Mae Young Classic too? Hello.
So this promo, at least how I read it, was definitely, y'all must have forgotten who the fuck I am.
Yeah.
And I'm about to show you who the fuck I am. Not only have I beaten y'all twice, like I've beaten each and every one of you, when it comes to WrestleMania, I'm going to beat both of you at the same fucking time. Io Sky is by far the most underrated, overlooked women's wrestler on the fucking roster.
When she flies, to me, it's like I'm watching the female version of the Great Muta.
Master of the skies for a reason.
Especially when she does the moonsault. And you know how I feel about Kenji Muto's moonsaults, one of the best of all time. But when Io does it, it's like I'm watching the female Great Muta, just minus the mist.
and I was telling Mizzle, I was like, and on top of that, with the promo that she did, not only have I beaten you twice, I've literally taken both of y'all out, 2 birds with 1 fucking stone.
Oh baby!
Last week I drop kicked Rhea right into Bianca, and both of y'all were out.
But
Y'all
Rhea's
forgot.
not. Io's not winning. So it's the championship is changing. It's going to Bianca. Rhea.
Here's the thing, though.
But that's the thing, and this is why some fans say that Bianca is starting to get stale because it's seemingly ever since she's been there, Bianca has been in the main event picture.
I think
Almost.
But if you were gonna do this, then you should not have her won the championship. I mean, the match that got her to be this way.
I agree, and it's the same thing with Charlotte winning the Royal Rumble. I agree.
Wins
Oh,
this
Charlotte should not have won shit.
No, I mean, we all know that.
That's how some people feel about Bianca winning the Elimination Chamber. So
when it comes to this triple threat, Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair,
I think Io has to retain because one that'll solidify the heel turn for Bianca.
So many scenarios.
But
I haven't
even
gotten to the juicy one yet.
But it also legitimizes essentially what Io was saying. Going, everybody's good on Rhea, everybody's good on Bianca.
Well, Rhea's just gonna stay over, period, because it's Rhea.
You know, mommy's gonna be mommy. I'm sorry. You know, we all saw that Instagram post that was just, again, she's got my wife looking at her going, God damn.
Buddy Matthews, you're one lucky man.
We all know about Rhea.
But when you look at this matchup in particular, Io goes over, that's going to just elevate her and the title itself.
I think Io's already a little bit over right now, without the belt. The belt just helped her get to where she's at right now.
Well, I mean,
it's kind of that underrated, hasn't been disclosed too much. The fact that she's a 3-time women's champion.
Yes, and nobody talks about that.
No. Well, not just that. It's just she's not given her, as Gorilla Monsoon say, she's not getting the accolades she so richly deserves. Which could lead her to go into a vicious mean streak and start kicking like she's Daniel Bryan, and everyone's going yes, 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 yes.
And I even told Mizzle that where Io Sky is right now,
yes,
should have been where Asuka is. Because Asuka, I believe, I still believe this to this day. If you were talking about legitimate superstars, you cannot convince me that anyone on the women's roster,
okay,
if you were going to do a legitimate fight, that any one of them could beat Asuka. None of them. Not one.
Yeah.
If you were to do an MMA fight, kickboxing, Muay Thai, whatever the fuck it is that you wanted to do, not one of the women on the women's roster could beat Asuka in a legitimate fight. She is essentially the Haku of the women's division.
In other words, just don't get into a bar fight.
No.
Or if you get into a bar fight, make sure she's on your side.
Exactly.
Like Haku.
You better be sure she's a fucking ally.
Like Haku and Harley Race and Dick Murdoch.
Like, Asuka is one of those that I think her undefeated streak should have gone further than the WrestleMania where she lost to Charlotte.
See that now that's a good thing you mentioned that, because it seemed like to me they almost killed her momentum with that, kind of the same way Kevin Nash decides to book himself to be the one to stop the Goldberg streak.
Essentially, that's essentially what happened. The fact that they were trying to put Charlotte in that category, like above everybody else, because, like, let's be real, they're still trying to get her at some point to break her own father's record. Whether that comes with winning world championships or divorces. Either way. She's going to beat him in one of those categories.
Oh, you went there with the divorces. Oh.
Oh. Hey, he's 0 for 4, she's 0 for 3. And she's younger than he was at that point. I'm just saying.
Oh. The burn.
You know, it is what it is. At some point, the common denominator is one person. And as far 100%. As I've been reading, and as far as I've been seeing, Andrade wasn't any part of that problem.
It's Charlotte, for sure. Yeah.
So it is what it is. You know, she wants to say, like, you know, hey, I haven't thought with my career, with how everything did. You can say what you want to say.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact is,
facts are facts.
The other two relationships, especially from what I've read on, semi-abusive.
Yeah.
You left them, cool.
Yeah.
But with Andrade,
abusive?
There was no reason why you should have left that man. He treated you like motherfucking queen. He still does.
Yeah.
Even after everything that went on. The post that he made, he still puts you up on a fucking pedestal.
Respect.
So that tells me, at least for the third one, that was on you. So now you got Tiffany Stratton talking a promo, shoot promo at that.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes back to what Becky said.
Ooh.
On Ariel Helwani's podcast, saying ever since Becky became the man, Charlotte changed. They were friends when Charlotte was on top.
Okay. Let's see where you're going.
But as soon as Becky got the backing from the WWE Universe, that all changed. Now, every single person that Charlotte goes up against, you know by every single one of those promos, she tries to pull that shit. That unscripted crap that's going to throw you off guard. And when it does, she goes, see, she couldn't handle the pressure. Now you got to give the title to me. That's why she's the 13-time champion.
Oh, Lord.
Minus the dusty finish.
When Tiffy came out and basically did that shoot promo of, at the end of this, you're going to be alone, just like you are in real life. What is it? 0 for 3? Gave the woo and dropped the microphone and walked the fuck out. And it was so bad to the point where Charlotte had to bullshit that line of, that's why Kaiser's in my DMs, even though everybody in the world know that's a fucking lie.
That's where she lost. That's where it's like, oh yeah.
You knew it was over.
Yep. No, Kaiser's already man enough. He doesn't need to be with another man. When he's got Tiffy.
After that said and pulled up the Shawn Michaels meme and said, don't fucking flatter yourself.
The heat was real on that.
That's the first man in history that everybody looked at and go, yeah, we believe he ain't cheating. There's no way that Kaiser's in fucking Miss Four Faces different fucking DMs.
100%. 100%.
So, like, Tiffany Stratton got to the
She looks too
point
manly.
in Charlotte Flair, and again, since, with Becky and everything else, Charlotte hasn't been the same.
Yes.
Charlotte has gone into business for herself. Nobody on the planet thinks she should have won that Royal Rumble.
Nope.
Mizzle, you think so?
Nope.
No. I'm agreeing with you saying that was too soon.
He was raising his hand in agreement.
Yes.
So, like, everybody on the planet looked at that and went, use your whole nepotism shit. And she went the whole, I'm Queen Nepo baby. Which, again, didn't help her case whatsoever. If anything, it proved what Tiffany Stratton was saying to the fullest extent.
We don't do that around here.
But now, Tiffany Stratton is going to go over the same way that Rhea Ripley went over Charlotte. Charlotte is going to basically job the next best thing over.
Ooh.
So now it's going to be to the point where I think, and this is just me, Charlotte Flair is going to be on that John Cena level where she's just going to lose a shit ton of matches.
Oh, you went there.
And you mean be the one to enhance the talent?
Of course. Whether she likes to or not, or she wants to or not. She's what, at 13 right now? 14?
So basically, you're saying she's going to get the Triple H treatment of 1996.
Oh, that was
Yep. Because of the fact she's trying to shoot on these other female superstars, and she's not getting over. These other female superstars, Tiffany Stratton, etc.,
Roxanne Perez.
Charlotte's trying to get one over on them with a shoot promo, but these other ladies are coming back at her full force. She's not winning as much as she thinks she is. That's going back to that Becky Lynch podcast that she did with Ariel Helwani, saying like, no, we're not friends. And I think it has to do with the fact that when everybody got behind me, start of 2019, when she became the man, that whole bragging rights point where she had her nose busted open, but she's in the crowd going like, give me, like, ever since that point,
that moment,
Charlotte has been nothing but fucking jealous.
I agree.
She's been trying to go into business for herself, but has failed. She tried doing it with Rhea. She failed. Rhea still went over at the end of the day. She tried going over with Tiffany. And Tiffany said, bitch, I got something for you.
It's not going to work for me, sister.
I got something for you. It's not gonna work for me.
Which, by the way, that has been her greatest promo as a face up to this point.
It's just, it's at a point right now where I think Charlotte has kind of lost.
Do the pictures not work?
No.
It won't come up?
I mean, for the pictures? I don't know. That's up to Mizzle if he's got them.
No. I'm waiting for you to add them. They're waiting to be added.
I think I have. Let's see. I do not. Oh, I got photos. Oh, that championship photo, by the way. So like we at the end of the show, we had basically we're looking for somebody who had a lighter. And a few guys that we found that took a picture with us. Let me see if I can get it up. This is video overlay background. I guess it's oops. Oh. I got it right here. Give me 1 second.
No, you are totally fine.
Well, I'm living right now.
I mean, we had an awesome.
Don't forget you have.
There it is.
So we'd asked for a lighter from somebody. We got a lighter, and then after that, Miz was like, "We need to take a picture." And then the guy that walks by us has, what Mizzle has on him. He's got a world championship. We'll take a picture with the title.
I took that championship belt and thought it was gonna be like light as shit and just wrap it around my. Ooh.
That was a good size title. 10 pounds of gold for sure.
Oh yeah.
10 pounds of gold.
Yes. And that's the colors you look for.
The orange, white, and blue.
Boise State.
Mizzle told me he said, "Hey, Dub calls us Boise State," and I started cracking up. I was like, "Yep, that's essentially what we look like out there."
Don't forget, there is plenty of programming coming up for you this weekend on Peacock. Of course, we still have SmackDown coming up here in Las Vegas this upcoming Friday. Not to mention the Hall of Fame. Again, before we call night, here's a quick rundown of the Hall of Fame inductees of 2025. Of course, we talked about Lex Luger and Triple H. Mrs. Calloway, Michelle McCool, will also be inducted into the Hall of Fame. In addition to that, we also have the natural disasters, of course, the late, great John Tenta, and, of course, Mr. Fred Ottman, a.k.a. Typhoon, a.k.a. Tugboat, a.k.a. the Shockmaster.
Tugboat. Wow, I heard that in years.
The submission match between... The submission match at WrestleMania 13 between Bret Hart and Stone Cold will be the Immortal Moment inducted by CM Punk. The Legacy inductees, the late, great Mr. James Harris, better known as the Ugandan Giant Kamala, going in, of course, one of the pioneers of blacks in wrestling. Dory Funk Sr., of course, the brother of Terry Funk.
The
late, great Terry Funk. And the Russian Bear, Ivan Koloff, going in.
Ooh.
Of course, Ivan Koloff was the man that stopped the 8-year championship reign of the living legend Bruno Sammartino back in 1971. And those are your nominees and your inductees for the Hall of Fame coming up here.
And then night 1, night 2, and we're going to be wrapping up the show and everything like that. Pretty
I'm
similar.
sorry. Correction.
Will be-
Dory Funk Sr. is the father of Terry Funk and Dory Funk Jr. Just wanted to make that correction real quick.
So we will. I don't know if it's Saturday or Sunday, either one. We're gonna try and do watch along of WrestleMania.
I'm gonna talk to the extra guest that's gonna come over because this will be his first time stepping into Mizzle's house, so he doesn't know how it goes down.
So
when we have these certain events.
We'll see how it goes. I got the 420 shirt, so that'll be good for Sunday for sure.
I'll wear mine. I'll definitely wear mine.
But for Saturday, Sunday, we'll see, depending on how everything goes.
One of the days, or maybe both of the days, we will broadcast live.
So night one, we've got Jade Cargill versus Naomi.
Nice.
We got Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano.
Who will get unmasked?
Gable.
I said he Chad Gable. Yeah, have you? Have you seen on the internet how they showed that how Chad Gable had the knuckle injury and the tattoo on both of his matches?
It's gonna happen. He's gonna get unmasked. It's gonna be a big.
I said that.
Happen.
I said that.
Thank you.
And then you got the United States Championship between LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu.
Yeah.
I thought Jacob Fatu was going to be premiered was going to happen in Monday Night Raw because against Sacramento,
they dropped the ball on that. They dropped the ball on that one.
I thought Jacob Fatu was going to make an appearance.
They dropped the ball on that one.
I thought we were going to get Jacob in solo WrestleMania, but instead it's LA Knight and Jacob. Interesting.
That's coming though.
You got LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu for the United States Championship. Then the World Tag Team Championship between the War Raiders and the New Day. Then you got Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair for the WWE Women's Championship.
Enough of Woods and Kofi.
World Heavyweight Championship between Gunther and Jey Uso, which is my pick personally for the show stealer of the night one. And then to main event, you will have Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns versus CM Punk, a triple threat match.
And will we see the ultimate swerve of swerves with Paul Heyman siding with the architect and the visionary?
We'll see. That's going to be that's definitely going to be an interesting one to see. And then night two, you have AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. The Sin City street fight between Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre.
That's going to be good.
Then
let them go into casinos.
Then you have the Intercontinental Championship match, a fatal four-way between Braun Breaker, Dominic Mysterio, Penta, and Finn Balor, which I think is, night two could pop. I think it should have been a ladder match, but again, that's just me. That could be one of those that steals.
Will we see more dissension?
It's going to be a controversy call, and it's going to end up happening on Monday Night Raw.
Will we see Finn and Dom keep having dissension amongst the Judgment Day?
It's going to be a draw. It's going to be some kind of weird thing happen, and they're going to have to wrestle on Monday Night Raw.
And then you got the Women's Tag Team Championship between Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus Bayley and Lyra Valkyria, which I talked to Mizzle, and again, I don't think they're going to make Lyra a double champion this soon. So I could definitely see Liv and Raquel
retaining
at WrestleMania. And then after that, you've got the Women's World Championship triple threat match. Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair.
Bianca heel turn.
Bianca being Shawn Michaels of the women's division. I think this match overall could be a potential show stealer for sure.
Yes.
And then
Yeah.
to main event it, the match that pretty much everyone is going to be anticipating and looking forward to, the undisputed WWE Championship between Cody, the American Nightmare Rhodes, versus the legendary John Cena.
And when will Dwayne make an appearance at WrestleMania 41?
Oh, it's gonna be another overbooked match, I guarantee. Guaranteed.
Will Stone Cold give somebody the stunner in Vegas? As Orange Cassidy is once again lying on the couch.
Yes, Stone Cold will make an appearance.
No, I said, will he give somebody the stunner?
Oh, 100%.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Whether it's in a match or one of the promos in between,
somebody's getting
Steve
the beer and
Austin
getting the
will be
business.
definitely giving somebody the stunner. For sure. But it's a hell of a night one, hell of a night two.
And a lot of coverage on
there's
Peacock.
9
Stop it.
hours
Total.
per night. So you're looking
Whoa.
at 2 to 3 hours for the pre-match or pre-show. About 4 to 5 hours for the.
So, what time should I expect you on Saturday, brother?
I
Bright
mean,
and early with bells and whistles on.
both nights. I mean, and this is completely up to you, but I was thinking probably getting there about 2 o'clock.
You know you're good, brother. You good?
Right in between the pre-show and,
2 o'clock
getting
for your
into everything
needs.
else. So
2
Look, you're
o'clock
good.
for your needs.
Those times. You look. You just said the time. You already know the door is good. Look. You know how to get inside my house.
it's gonna be a hell of a weekend. I'm
Yes.
excited for it. And
Same.
again, once the fact that we got to be there for the go home show for Raw, for everything that we saw from beginning to end, Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins, their promo with CM Punk coming out, to kind of the fact that Roman Reigns essentially turned on the wise man, so it just that push to the face going like it just there's so much stuff that has gone on, and if you haven't gotten a chance to see Raw on Netflix just yet, just take a look. About what did you say, about 4 or 5 times?
I'll just say this: when the promo when Jey Uso is out there, and when he's leaving the crowd, the moment he starts to yeet with the crowd and they pan out, just look at when it pans out to 109, you will see the shirts and you will see all three of us. TG got a beer in his hand.
We all had a beer in our hand at that point.
JP was just doing, and you just see all of us just doing this. It's real. I you know what? Don't really focus on us, but the whole crowd. That's the first time that I was excited that I've been to Sacramento.
Damn good show.
And he does not like Sacramento.
That was a good show.
Hell of a
Penta. I'm just going to say this. I'm glad I got to see Penta. That might have been besides walking with Jey Uso. Sorry, JP. But besides walking with Jey Uso, seeing Penta wrestle, that was good.
Yeah, for sure.
And for a side joke, El Grande Americano.
Oh man,
thank you.
That was interesting to say the least. He got mixed reactions. He got a lot of people when he did the speed match against Eric from the War Raiders. Big pop. But then when he came out during Raw, definitely got
boo like a mug.
a good fuck you.
Yeah.
You know, and I even told you too. I was like, watch, they're gonna figure out a way. They're gonna throw out Chad Gable, and he's gonna come out, Grande Americano, and we kind of
And that
see it
segment happened.
coming.
It did happen.
WrestleMania, Rey Mysterio is gonna end up somehow winning that match and
You caught that one for sure.
unmasking, Grande Americano,
Mhm.
otherwise known as Chad Gable.
Chad Gable.
Thank
For sure.
you.
The chance of that's Chad Gable. No, it's
No,
not.
it's not.
That's Chad Gable. No, it's not. Like that was also
Classic.
pretty. Again, Sacramento understood the assignment going into this.
Sacramento did good.
So, damn good.
Hey,
Damn good. So
but
we'll
I'll say
see.
this. Yeah, I'm glad that I had to experience that with you and our other fellow brother. That was awesome. I know at one time it was like, are we gonna make it? And it got a little spotty, but mind you, folks, we looked at these tickets when it was like $100 and something. Just life just was not working for us at that time to purchase these tickets. But when JP found that, like you said, when I found that, boom. But no, I appreciate you for everything, brother. They can't take away from that night for us now because we are
on
in the
Netflix
Netflix,
forever, sir.
the archives.
Yep.
You look up that Monday Night Raw, April 14th, you will find Mizzo, JP, and TG on Monday Night Raw. Like I say, I'm forever grateful that JP came up with that idea to be different and unique. Because I was going to wear an OTC shirt and just be blending with the crowd. That was just going to happen.
Had to let everybody know who was in the fucking building, sir.
Goddamn right.
Had to let everybody know.
That's awesome.
So it was a damn good show, and we're gonna remember that forever. For sure. And there's a lot more that's gonna come, especially as time goes on. But Sir Dub, Mr. Gorilla, our own Gorilla Monsoon here.
He knows how to take us out.
Psychology podcast. Sir, take us out, please.
Well, folks, again, WrestleMania coming to you live Saturday, April 19th, Sunday, April 20th on Peacock exclusively. And of course, we still have SmackDown coming up to you live from Las Vegas on Friday the 18th. And at the LV Convention Center is the Hall of Fame ceremony. Again, congratulations to all the nominees going into the Hall of Fame this year. But don't forget, it's all about WrestleMania 41, where the electricity, you can cut it with a knife. Again, Peacock is the only way you can see it exclusively on Peacock PLEs for Stone Cold Mizzle. For the bad guy, this is the Gorilla saying so long, and we'll see you. Okay, go ahead.
And there's only thing missing this weekend. Your light bright ass not sitting here watching WrestleMania with us. That is the only thing. I know that life has changed for you, and I'm so proud of you. Proud of you, bro. You've. But the only thing that's missing is that you wasn't there on Monday Night Raw, which we lived it up for you, and you're not here on WrestleMania to watch it with us. But
this has been a very humbling experience the last month that I've gone through. But as I said in my post, new chapter.
He doesn't do what, Dub? He does not put things in front of us that we can't handle.
Well,
you handle it.
God only tests the strongest soldiers.
Exactly. So, and I don't have to tell you that because you told me that. So,
on that note, for the bad guy, for Mizzle, this is the Gorilla saying so long for now, and we'll see you in the ring. Enjoy WrestleMania weekend.
I believe there probably will be a WrestleMania recap.
We'll get it.
Only on the RPP.
Love y'all.
Love you,
See
brothers.
y'all later.
Yes, sir.